They never show his full face, not clearly, not directly, not even by accident. And in the Power universe, that is never random. When a character's face stays in the shadows, it usually means one thing: the truth is dangerous. RSJ2 is not just another new player. The way the camera moves around him, the way scenes cut before we get a clean look, the way other characters react to him without saying too much, all of it feels planned. It feels like the writers are protecting something or someone, and the biggest question is simple: who is he really, and why are they hiding him from us? From the very first time our RSJ2 appears on screen, something feels different. The camera does not treat him like a normal side character. We get side angles, back shots, blurred frames, or heavy shadows. His face is either partly covered or shown too quickly. In a show where we clearly see every villain, every hero, and every traitor, this choice stands out. The Power universe has a long history of hiding major twists behind small visual clues. When a character matters deeply to the future story, the show slows down how much we know about them. RSJ2 fits that pattern perfectly. Even the lighting around him feels darker compared to others in the same room. It creates mystery on purpose. The directors want us to notice that something is off. Then there is his body language. RSJ2 does not move like someone new to the game. He stands calm. He speaks with control. He never looks confused or unsure. That confidence suggests experience. It feels like he has been around power before. He talks like a man who understands the system, not like someone trying to learn it. When other characters speak to him, there is a strange level of respect mixed with caution. They are careful with their words. That kind of reaction usually happens when a person has history, and history is everything in the Power world. No one rises without a backstory. No one enters without a reason. His voice is another clue. It carries weight. It sounds like someone who has seen loss, betrayal, or violence. There is emotion under the calm tone. It is not loud or aggressive, but it feels heavy. In this franchise, voice has always been important. Think about how Ghost controlled rooms with calm speech. Think about how Kanan used quiet threats. RSJ2's tone sits somewhere in that space. That cannot be an accident. It feels like the show is linking him to the legacy of past characters without saying it directly. The writers know the audience listens closely. They know fans compare every detail, so giving him a voice that feels familiar is a deliberate move. Even his wardrobe choices tell a story. Dark colors, clean style, no flashy patterns. It gives the feeling of control and discipline. In Power, clothing often shows status and mindset. Loud outfits belong to people who want attention. Simple but sharp outfits belong to people who already have power. RSJ2 dresses like someone who does not need to prove anything. That alone raises questions. Where did he get that confidence? Who taught him? Or is it in his blood? The biggest clue might not be visual at all. It is the way the story places him. He appears at moments that matter, not random scenes, not filler moments. Important turning points. When big decisions are being made, he is nearby. When tension rises, he is present. That placement is storytelling strategy. The Power universe never wastes screen time on characters who do not shape the future. So if our RSJ2 is being carefully framed, carefully hidden, and carefully placed, then his identity must connect to something bigger. The mystery of his face is not about suspense for fun. It feels like protection. Maybe revealing him too early would expose a connection that changes everything. Maybe his face is familiar to someone in the story, or maybe it is familiar to us. The audience. The Power franchise has always played with legacy, bloodlines, and long-term revenge. Faces matter in this universe. Seeing someone's face can trigger memories, fear, or old pain. If the show is holding back that reveal, it suggests that when we finally see him clearly, it will not just be a reveal, it will be a shock. And that is why RSJ2 is more than just a mystery character. He feels like a delayed explosion. The clues are there, hidden in camera angles, lighting, tone, posture, and timing. The show is not hiding his face because they forgot to show it. They are hiding it because once we see it, we might understand the truth, and that truth could connect straight back to the legacy that built the Power universe in the first place. The way RSJ to his film tells us more than his actual dialogue. In several scenes, the camera never settles on him for too long. Just when the shot feels like it is about to reveal something clear, it cuts away. Sometimes his face is half covered by shadow. Sometimes another character steps slightly in front of him. Sometimes the focus shifts to someone else while he is still speaking. These are not mistakes. In a show that is known for strong visual control, this kind of blocking is planned carefully. When the camera refuses to give a full view, it usually means the audience is not supposed to fully understand that person yet. The creators want us searching, replaying, and questioning. Lighting is another strong clue. Most characters in the Power world are shown in clean, bright frames when they are confident or in control. But with RSJ2, the lighting often creates contrast. His face is partly lit, partly dark. This split look can symbolize dual identity. It suggests he may be living between two worlds. Maybe he has one public image and one hidden past. The shadow does not just hide his face, it creates tension. It makes the audience feel that something is unfinished. In storytelling, shadow is often used to protect secrets. So if RSJ2 constantly stands in that space between light and darkness, it hints that his truth is not simple. His dialogue also carries subtle hints. He rarely gives direct answers. Instead, he speaks in lines that feel layered. When someone asks him about loyalty or history, he responds in a way that sounds personal but still distant. It feels like he is speaking from experience without explaining that experience. This pattern is important. In the Power universe, characters who talk in layered sentences usually carry past trauma or hidden connections. They speak carefully because they know too much. RSJ2 does not talk like someone new to the system. He talks like someone who has already survived it. There are moments where other characters react to him in ways that feel slightly tense. Their eyes hold for a second longer. Their tone becomes cautious. Even if they are not openly afraid, there is awareness in the room. Respect mixed with uncertainty. That kind of reaction usually comes from reputation. And reputation does not appear overnight. It builds over years. If people treat him carefully without full explanation, it suggests there is a story we have not heard yet. The show is letting us feel that history before telling us directly. His physical presence adds more questions. He stands still during arguments instead of reacting emotionally. He watches more than he speaks. Observers in this universe are often the most dangerous players. Ghost built his empire by observing and planning before moving. Kanan survived by reading rooms before acting. RSJ2 gives off that same quiet awareness. He scans situations like he is measuring outcomes. That type of behavior feels learned. It feels like someone trained by experience, not luck. Even the editing around his scenes feels strategic. Important conversations involving him often end without full closure. We are left with unfinished tension. That editing style builds suspense around identity. It is almost like the show wants the audience to feel slightly uncomfortable, like we are missing a key piece of information, and we probably are. The Power franchise is known for long-game storytelling. They plant clues early and reveal the truth much later. RSJ2 feels like one of those long-term setups. Another interesting detail is how he reacts to certain names or events from the past. There are subtle facial shifts, small pauses, slight changes in breathing. These are tiny acting choices. But in a series built on legacy and revenge, small reactions matter. It suggests familiarity. It suggests memory. Maybe he has a personal connection to events that shape the current power structure. The show is not giving us flashbacks yet, but it is hinting that they exist. The biggest clue in this section is consistency. The mystery around him is not random in one episode. It continues across scenes. That repetition proves intention. When a show repeats a visual pattern, it is building towards something. RSJ2 is framed like a secret waiting to be unlocked. Every shadow, every half angle, every careful line of dialogue adds another layer to that secret. The creators are guiding the audience without saying anything directly. All of these clues together suggest one strong possibility. The hidden face is not about hiding an actor. It is about hiding recognition. When his face is finally shown clearly, it may trigger shock not because he is new, but because he is familiar. And in the Power universe, familiarity can mean bloodline, betrayal, or revenge. The camera is not just hiding a man, it is hiding history. Power has always been about legacy. Not just money or control, but bloodlines, family names, and the weight of past decisions. When you look at RSJ through that lens, he does not feel random at all. He feels placed. The Power universe has a pattern of introducing characters who seem new on the surface, but are deeply connected to old stories. Sometimes they are children of former players. Sometimes they are victims of past betrayals. Sometimes they are living. Proof that power never truly disappears. It only changes. In the original Power series, secrets about family changed everything. Ghost's double life shaped his children in ways he could not control. In Ghost, we saw how Tariq stepped into a world built by his father's choices in raising Kanan. The focus is on how a mother's actions shape her son's future. In Force, Tommy's past follows him even in a new city. Every branch of this universe repeats the same core message: the past always returns. That is why RSJ feels important. His mystery lines up perfectly with this theme. He could be another piece of unfinished history coming back for resolution. The franchise also has a clear pattern when it comes to hidden identities. Before major reveals, the show slows down information. It builds tension slowly instead of giving fast answers. A character is introduced, clues are scattered. Reactions from others feel loaded. Then, at the right moment, everything connects. RSJ fits into that structure. He is being built carefully, not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. That kind of slow build usually means long-term impact. When power hides something for this long, it is rarely small. Another important part of legacy in this universe is consequences. Every major character faces the results of past actions. Even years later, enemies do not forget. Families do not heal easily. Betrayal leaves scars that carry into the next generation. If RSJ represents legacy, he could represent consequence. Maybe someone powerful hurt his family years ago. Maybe he grew up watching the damage caused by someone we already know. If that is true, then his presence is not random ambition. It is personal. And personal motives are the most dangerous in this world. The Power universe also likes to mirror characters across generations. Ghost and Tariq share traits, but walk different paths. Kanan and young Kanan show how environment shapes destiny. RSJ might be another mirror. He might reflect someone from the past, but with a new mindset. That reflection would explain why the show is hiding his face. If he resembles a former player, even slightly, that visual connection could instantly spark theories. It could confirm that the story is repeating in a new form. There's also the idea of inherited power. Some characters fight their way into influence, others are born near it. If RSJ carries a known last name or secret bloodline, that would explain his calm confidence. It would explain why he moves like someone who understands systems without being taught on screen. Power in this universe is often passed down quietly before it becomes visible publicly. A hidden heir is more powerful than a loud newcomer. And the show has never been afraid to introduce hidden heirs before. Legacy is not only about family, it is also about reputation. Names carry weight in this world. The moment a connection is revealed, alliances shift. Enemies react differently. Respect or fear can rise instantly. If RSJ is connected to a past kingpin, politician, or strategist, then revealing that link would immediately change how everyone treats him. That kind of shift makes for strong Drama, it creates conflict without needing new villains. The history itself becomes the weapon. Another layer to consider is how the franchise expands its universe. Every new spin-off builds on old foundations. RSJ could be a bridge character, someone who ties one storyline to another. If he connects multiple branches of the power world, that would justify the mystery. It would explain why the show is careful. Revealing him too early could spoil future arcs or crossovers. The writers may be thinking several seasons ahead. The strongest reason to believe RSJ2 is tied to legacy is emotional weight. His scenes feel heavy even when the dialogue is simple. There's depth in his silence. That kind of emotional presence usually comes from history and in power. History is rarely peaceful. It is built on betrayal, ambition, and survival. If RSJ2 carries that emotional history inside him, then his story is not just about gaining power. It is about reclaiming something that was lost. When you look at all these patterns together, RSJ does not feel like a side character. He feels like the next chapter in a long story about how power moves through generations. The franchise has proven again and again that legacy never dies. It only changes faces. And if his face is being hidden, it may be because once we see it clearly, we will understand exactly which legacy has returned. If RSJ truly has an origins backstory connected to the deeper history of this universe, then his past must be strong. Enough to justify all this secrecy. In power, no character is protected without purpose. So the real question becomes, what kind of beginning would make his identity this sensitive? One possibility is that he grew up around power but was never officially part of it. Maybe he was the child who watched from a distance. Maybe he saw meetings, arguments, betrayals, but was never allowed inside the circle. Growing up in the shadow of powerful people can create two types of minds, one that fears the system and one that learns it quietly. RSJ feels like the second type. Imagine a childhood shaped by silence. He hears names we already know. He sees faces we recognize, but he is never introduced, never acknowledged publicly. That kind of upbringing creates distance and hunger at the same time. Hunger to understand, hunger to prove something. In this universe, children who grow up near crime or influence rarely escape it fully. They either reject it loudly or return to it smarter. RSJ does not move like someone shocked by the world of power. He moves like someone who studied it for years before stepping in. Another possible origin is loss. Many powerful characters in this franchise were shaped by trauma, losing a parent, watching betrayal unfold, being abandoned at the worst moment. If RSJ lost someone important because of decisions made by legacy characters, that would give him emotional motive. Revenge in power is never simple anger. It is slow, planned, and patient. His calm behavior could hide years of quiet preparation. Maybe he has been building himself in the background, waiting for the right moment to enter the main stage. There is also the timeline question. Where exactly does he fit in the larger history? If we trace back key events from earlier series, there are gaps. There are off-screen consequences we never fully explored. Not every victim was shown. Not every family member was accounted for. RSJ could fill one of those gaps. He could be the missing piece from a storyline that seemed closed but was never truly finished. Power often revisits unfinished business. Seasons later, that makes his timing interesting. He does not appear randomly. He appears when the balance of power feels unstable. That suggests intention. Another angle is inheritance without recognition. Maybe he carries a name that was erased or hidden, a secret child, a protected heir, a family connection that was covered up to protect someone's image. In a world where image and reputation are everything, hiding a child or relative is not impossible. If that is the case, then revealing him would not only shock characters, but also damage reputations built over years. That kind of reveal would shake foundations, not just relationships. His emotional control might also point to formal training, not just street experience, but guidance. Someone may have prepared him, taught him how to speak carefully, how to read rooms, how to move without attracting attention. That kind of mentorship would mean he is not acting alone. It would connect his origins to another hidden figure. Power loves layered alliances. A secret mentor shaping a future power player fits perfectly within that structure. There's also the possibility that his origin story involves reinvention. Maybe he was once visible in a different way. Maybe he changed his identity, his appearance, or even his name. Reinvention is a common survival tool in this universe. Characters disappear and return with new strategies. If RSJ represents someone who rebuilt himself after a major fall, that would explain both the mystery and the confidence. A man who survived destruction is often more dangerous than one who never faced it. The emotional weight behind him suggests unfinished business rather than simple ambition. He does not feel like someone chasing money alone. His presence feels deeper, more personal. That type of motivation usually connects to origin. Something happened. Something shaped him before we ever saw him. And that shaping event is likely tied to legacy figures we already know. When you combine hidden identity, controlled emotion, careful timing, and strategic positioning, it becomes clear that his backstory cannot be small. It must connect to the roots of the power universe. His origin likely holds the key to understanding why his face is protected and why his entrance feels so deliberate. If his past is finally revealed, it may not just explain who he is, it may reopen stories we thought were already finished. When it comes to our RSJ, identity theories are not just fan imagination. They are built from patterns this universe has used many times before. The first strong theory is that he is directly connected by blood to a major legacy figure. Power has always returned to family. If he is the son, nephew, or hidden relative of someone who once controlled the streets or the boardroom, that would explain his quiet confidence. Bloodlines in this world carry more than a name. They carry reputation, enemies, and unfinished wars. If RSJ belongs to a known family, then his rise is not random ambition. It is continuation. The strength of this theory is how well it matches the franchise theme. The weakness is that it requires careful writing to avoid feeling repetitive. But power has shown it knows how to evolve old ideas into new conflicts.